Alex White. My mom is Tracy, Marty's first daughter. My freshman year in college was far from typical, but the events that have transpired have had an everlasting impact on my life. Growing up on the East Coast gave me a few opportunities to really get to know my grandmother as well as the rest of my mother's side of the family. I attended Columbia College in downtown Chicago. At the beginning of the year, I would visit the suburbs a lot, but without going into specifics, my second semester I opted to stay with my Uncle Frank in Wilmette and commute to school. This decision turned out to be a blessing because I was able to really get to know one of the most amazing people I've ever met. We scheduled a weekly lunch date for every Friday, but that was really the only scheduled time we met because I would be over for various different things. I mean, I'd shovel her driveway if it snowed, or I'd just come over for dinner and chat. But I know she loved the company, and the joy I felt she had when I was around was one of the few feelings I've had in my life that has truly changed me for the better. This actually reminds me of a story of a Friday lunch. She was too tired to go out and get a meal at a restaurant, and all she had was a DiGiorno, like veggie lover's pizza. Most who know me, I'm a pretty picky eater. I ate half that pizza, and God knows there's not one other person in the world I would have done that for. She wasn't like other grandmothers. She spoke her mind, and she wasn't afraid to call you out, or even call you an idiot. She was also amazingly passionate, and the fire and passion she had for her beliefs were truly amazing. These qualities were not typical of the standard grandmother-grandson relationship, and because of these qualities, we didn't have that typical relationship. We were truly able to get to know each other, and I felt we had a real, genuine friendship. The conversations we had, I will cherish for a lifetime. We would discuss lots of topics ranging from the Chicago Bears, the awful water pressure in my Uncle Frank's house. Not very well known, but very apparent love for Wesley Snipes. All things Frank Sinatra. Our best conversations, though, were no doubt when I would ask her about her life growing up, the grandfather I never knew, and just family history in general. I remember she was very caught off guard when I first started asking questions like this, because I don't think she thought anyone had an interest in that sort of thing. But you could feel the joy in the room when she talked about it, though, because I knew she loved telling me these stories, and I loved hearing them. Some of the stories my own mother admits to not even knowing about. They range from how she lost her mother at the young age of 16, and her grandfather's brewery in Bay City, Michigan, that was a victim of Prohibition, a time that should bother every family member in this room. She told fascinating little anecdotes, like the time her father rode from New York to Detroit in a car with Henry Ford. She also told me many stories about the grandfather I never really had the chance to know. The grandfather I never had the chance to know, finally giving me a glimpse of the man that was clearly loved by her and her brother, John, and a lot of other people. She also loved telling stories of her children growing up, oftentimes humorous stories that my mother didn't really think I should know about. After my year in Chicago, I transferred to a different school, but we stayed in touch through letters to each other, which I've heard that she loved reading, and she would write back to me with stories of the family. And I guess you could say this is my last letter to her, thanking her for the impact on my life. Her spirit carries on, though, because I can see her characteristics in each and every relative in this room. And she told me on several occasions how proud she was of all of her children. The time we spent together was truly a blessing, and I know she's living large up there, watching Law and Order marathons, in her favorite chair, catching up with her husband and friends. Thank you.